There it is. Hello, YouTube. We're here again. Thanks for
NoobTube.
Yep, that's it. All right, Audacity ready.
I'm just gonna annoyingly move my microphone the whole episode, so it
No,
sounds like
let's not do that.
if that's okay with everyone.
So I bumped the heat in this house up to 73 just to make it nice and toasty, and then dropped it a bunch, so hopefully it won't kick on this whole time. Let's
wait.
Crossed. You know how last week the furnace kicked on mid podcast?
Right.
Yeah. So I raised the heat.
Gosh, I see what you mean.
So that and then lowered it.
Like
73. 73.
What'd you lower it to?
67.
Ooh.
So we've got a 7-degree swing, 7-degree swing. So 8-degree swing. Math.
6.
4, 3, 2.
Actually
1.
6. I'm gonna
3. All right, ready? Audacity. 3, 2, 1.
Oh shoot!
No, we're not. Are you ready?
Error while opening sound device.
Okay, let's
check the recording device settings and the project sample rate.
Let's start over.
Okay, I have to I'm glad that happened. I have to quit it.
Finally, a release date for Batman: The Enemy Within episode 4.
Yeah, I haven't played any of those yet.
Oh, it's so good. Completely different, but so good. Oh, and it's like YouTube's getting the scoop for the scoop, but coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
Sweet, sweet. Hey, you.
Excuse me. YouTube.
Yeah.
Careful, it's hot.
Okay.
Eat it. Put it all in your mouth.
All at once. Just lick the whole plate.
Yeah, do it. A big bite. The biggest bite ever. Go.
Look at that.
Stuff it in there.
Steam rising off of that.
Stuff it in your mouth. We want to see you.
What is it?
See the roof of your mouth burn.
That's a meatball right there.
Nice.
With some melted mozzarella. Mozzarella.
Whew.
Yep, she wasn't kidding. I thought.
She's telling the truth.
You never know with her. She lies a lot.
It's frozen. It's hot. I heard that.
What?
Busted.
I thought it was safe. The door was closed.
No, thin walls. Real thin. Busted. Didn't hear that, though. No response to that one. All right, Dave, you restart Audacity. Is everything fine?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I won't know until I press record again, but
Why don't you test it real quick?
But if I press record and then I stop it, I restart it, what if it messes up again?
So let's just live on the edge. Let's just ready. Okay, let's count it down.
I'm on the edge. Glory.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 153 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. We're back yet again for another week of video game discussions. We got all your new releases from this week, which they're starting. This is it, the beginning of the year. We're getting real games now. What we've been playing lately, some news that you can use, including some No Man's Sky discussion. We're getting a new controller. There's some cardboard stuff you can do with your Switch. It's going to be a good time. We look forward to talk about it. And then we'll finish out with Game Scoop's 20 questions, hoping to get a win on the board for 2018. Let's see how we do. But before we get started, I'd like to say thank you and welcome to my co-hosts, Dave and Josh. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, man. Thanks. Welcome to you, Chad.
Thanks
for
welcoming me.
Welcome to both you and Josh. How you doing, fellas?
Thank you both for welcoming me. And I want to tell everyone involved, I'm here for the listeners tonight, guys. Sometimes I'm here for you guys.
Okay.
You know, sometimes that's the case. No, tonight I'm in it for the listeners.
What a guy.
I'll
tell you
here
what.
For the listeners today.
You're awesome. I tell you, man. We're so lucky to have you. We really, really are. Well, we're glad that you're here. Listeners, we're glad you've downloaded this podcast and or watched this video. We appreciate it. Before we get started, I just want to give you a little housekeeping that we've got the Patreons, as you're aware of, patreon.com/SouthDakotaGamer. You can go there. I think you got another week here before February's charges are done. And if you get in for that, for $1, you get entered into a contest that we're going to do twice a year, as well as some other things, some other options that are there. So head over to patreon.com/SouthDakotaGamer and get in for the February patronage. We sure would appreciate if you did that. Also, if you would check out our YouTube page, South Dakota Gamer, over on YouTube. We put up some really cool things. There's been a lot of, or some, not a lot, but there's been some PUBG videos going up. Some crazy things happening. I'm capturing some nuts. We'll talk about it here in a minute. Yeah, capturing some nuts. That's right.
Wait a minute.
It's PUBG. You've not played that version? All right, well, we'll talk about it later. So check out all the things. We have Facebook as well. We sure appreciate you listening, downloading, and all those things. And if you can throw us $1, that sure would help a lot. So without further ado, let's get right into this podcast, starting with the new releases coming out this week, brought to us by our good friend, Patreon supporter, Evan Steele. Y'all know Evan. He won the PS4 last year in the giant giveaway, and then he gave it away to someone that needed one right after he received it from us. What a guy, what a pal, what a chum.
What a guy.
He would like to promote, he's at the Patreon level to promote something on the podcast, and he would just like to promote himself over on Twitch. You can check out his streaming. It's Gen_, that's GEN_ Lee, LEE_ accepted. On Twitch, check him out. Check him out playing. I don't know. He plays some PUBG. I'm sure he plays other things over there too, Overwatch, things like that. So go subscribe to his Twitch channel. He's a great dude. What a man.
Probably one of the best I know, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, for sure.
I just think he's a fine, upstanding person.
Yep. Josh laying on thick for the E3 predictions already. Good job.
All right.
All right. So the new releases this week, like I mentioned at the beginning, there are a few good games coming out. This is it. The AAA stuff is beginning. Dave, run us through the games that we can get this week.
Alrighty, you folks that want to get some free stuff. On January 23rd, for the PC, PS4, and Switch, you can get the Lost Sphere.
Not free.
Right? The Lost Sphere.
Not free at all. Costs money.
I was absolutely lying. I was trying to see if you would get it. I was trying to not admit that I thought that these were the PS Plus games for the month on accident, even though it's, January 22nd. Sorry, folks. These are not free. They are free if someone buys them for you. To you, but not to that person.
There you go.
Saved it. Good
Anyways, on January 21st, The Lost Sphere is coming to PC, PS4, and Switch. Also on January 23rd, for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, it's OKCO. Let's Play Heroes. Okay, like Knockout, or OKCO? As in a weird take on company. KO. I don't know. Go find out. PS4, PC, and Xbox One. Also on January 23rd for the PSVR is The Inpatient, which I have seen videos for, and it's very reminiscent of an Outlast-style game. You're in some type of what looks to be in either, not an insane asylum, I think it's just a hospital, like a very decrepit, maybe abandoned hospital where they're doing some things there that you wouldn't want to have done to you, Chad.
Yeah, no. And this is tied into the...
Specifically, Chad.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, there are some people in there, Chad, that need your help.
No,
and you need to buy a PSVR.
Chad, you're the only one that can save them.
I'm not Obi-Wan, for crying out loud.
Yes.
They need someone else.
And also on the 23rd, most of these are, except for the last 4, which is almost half. So not most.
So glad you went into detail on that.
For the
almost all of them are, except for the last half.
For the PS4 is Velocity 2X, or Velocity times 2, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. Critical Mass Edition for the PS4. Also, for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One on January 23rd is Batman: The Enemy Within Episode 4.
Finally,
time to get that. I know Josh is up to date now, right? You're up to date completely.
Yep.
Yeah, Chad and I've played it. It's very, very good. So good. Get that game. As I've said before, if you like Batman, definitely get it. If you like the Telltale series, definitely get it. If you like both of them, why the heck have you not played Batman: The Enemy Within? It's incredible. Also, if you don't know, it's season 2 of the first one that they did already. That was also incredible. Then moving on from the 23rd to the 25th for the PC, Switch, and PS4 is Celeste. Now, I'm going to call it Celeste because I've heard girls' names who are Celeste and spelled that way. So I'm just going to go with Celeste. Don't know what it is. Don't know anything about it. I'm just on a video game podcast. I don't know everything.
Right.
Also, for the PS4, Xbox One, but not on the 25th, the 26th. What is the deal with these dates, Chad? Why are they so sporadic?
What's
throughout
the deal with the dates? I don't know. The 26th is a Friday, and I guess Monster Hunter World is a Capcom game, so maybe it's a Japanese thing. So is Dragon Ball.
I know that Nintendo, they do some weird stuff with like Wednesdays or Thursdays, right?
They're typically, a lot of times they're Sundays, actually.
Are they really? I don't know anything about it. Like I said, just on a video game, but I'm not the actual one that runs it.
Right. You don't set
You're the one that puts
dates.
all the stuff on here, so I expect you to know everything.
Oh, that's fair.
But the 26th, finally, for a lot of the people, I know this is an anticipated one for the PS4 and the Xbox One, is Monster Hunter World. You've been able to play the beta for quite some time, so I'm sure you can still get on there and play it for a little bit. I don't know, but it's about to come out, so check it out. And then, last but not least, for the 26th, for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, is Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Not a typo. It's actually called Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Now, it's not Dragon Ball Fighter and then Z. It's Fighter Z. So is it actually Dragon Ball Fighters? With a capital Z?
I don't care what they call it. I'm always and forever calling this Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Fighters.
Because otherwise, that's a real dumb name for this game.
All right. Well, that'll be
my
it, guys.
Hot take.
That's it.
My controversial hot take.
South Dakota Gamer Josh Owens, a real dumb name. Stick that in your pipe, Bandai. Do whatever. Fight with it. All right. Thanks, Dave, for all the not free new games coming out this week. So those you can get on the days that they're released, but they aren't released yet, and you can't play them yet. But what you can do is listen to what we've played lately. That's what you can do, and that's what we're going to do right now. Dave, since you're on a roll, why don't you talk to us about the things you've been playing?
Well,
steal that thunder. Steal it.
Kind of along the same. What do you mean, steal what thunder?
Steal it. Just do it. Just steal the thunder. I'm giving you an opportunity to steal some thunder back from me.
All right.
Take the opportunity.
I played some Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, you jerk.
Yeah, man. Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, you know that I was a very big fan of this game when it came out back in 2013 on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Incredible game. One of the best things they've done to date. Well, obviously, because it's, they get better with every game they release. But it's awesome. And since it's been out, it's been 5 years, this game keeps growing because of the online service. It is the best online Grand Theft Auto they've ever done. It just keeps growing. They keep dumping all this content into it. And I finally jumped back into it. Guys, they have a DeLorean.
I heard this.
And I think they call it the Deluxo. They're not trying to rip it off. Yeah. Right, it looks exactly like a DeLorean.
And you don't need roads?
They don't need roads. You can drive it around. Well, you can drive it around however you want. But then you can hit one of the buttons, however you have your controller selected, and the tires will move up underneath it, and it'll go into hover mode.
That's cool.
That's awesome. And then you can fly it like a plane. Now, it's a little more janky, but it allows for you to make like the cool spin around moves that it did. The only thing I don't like, and I think they might have did this just so they didn't straight off rip the thing from
Back to the Future?
Universal Studios that did.
Oh yeah,
I think. It has two little like tiny wings that come out of the sides when it goes into fly mode. Just two little wings, not very big at all. They look more like the tail fins on a plane than they do actual wings. But it's still it's so cool, man. It's so cool to be driving, hit the button, and just go, dude. Like when I played it, I actually played the theme to Back to the Future on my phone.
While you were playing? With
my headset on. So I would play the music while I took off.
That's great. Is that only in the online mode, or is that in the single player mode?
That I actually don't know. I didn't play it or I didn't play the actual thing because I lost all my saves a long time ago, so I'm not that far in the game.
So okay.
Yeah.
And that's not a mod. That's just
no, it's not a mod. That's the thing that always bugged me before, because I loved Grand Theft Auto so much, and Grand Theft Auto 4 had the online mode that was so fun, but like only the PC players had all the sweet mods. Like you could be in an Iron Man suit and fly around in an Iron Man suit. You could fly around the Millennium Falcon in the Grand Theft Auto 4 online thing. I mean, it was so sweet. I want that so bad. But now we've got Battlefront where you can do that. But it still would be really cool to do it in Grand Theft Auto. But I played a little bit with my friends. I actually spent some money on Grand Theft Auto, which I haven't done in a long time. In the 5 years, other than for my kid, who he's 10, so he shouldn't be playing it. But I bought like a $30 pack where it gives you like $1,500 or like $1.5 million. It gives you all these properties you can buy. Now I've got a big giant high rise tower that I run a business that I called Sterling Cooper, and I can like buy like warehouses and either like collect drugs or collect cars, which I want to get to the point where I can collect cars. And then you sell them. You have to go boost them first, and then you get them back to your warehouse. And after a while, you find buyers, and you can sell them all for more money. And they've really made these like career criminal packs or whatever they have. These different things. They have like all these different heists now you can do. They have this doomsday heist. It's really big. People have underground bunkers now. They have giant semis that have mobile command centers in the back. They have yachts. You can go and try to take people's yachts, and they can run. Can run. Yeah, and there's all kinds of, like, you can have weed businesses, you can have methamphetamine businesses, you can be Walter White from Breaking Bad in Grand Theft Auto 5 now, which is something that I wanted when it first started. I was like, can you imagine if they would do this? Finally, they did it. You can run cars, you can run.
Do you just get owned when you get on, since it's been out for so long and there's so many people playing it? Do you just get like...
Yeah, that'll happen. There's always some people that just want to grief kill you all the time. It happened to me the first time I got in a long time. I walked out to the street and got mowed down instantly by a guy on a flying motorcycle. It's scared around.
Yeah, that'll happen.
But there's been games where I haven't been messed with at all. But yeah, it is really, really cool. And I like how they made it to where it used to be. I mean, now if you want to spend money in the real world, yes, you can get a bunch of stuff, but you still have to spend like the $30 or $40 only gets you like $2-3 million at the most. And some of these places, some of these properties to buy, you got to pay $4 million just to get like a bunker or something, depending on which kind you want. So I like how they've actually made the stuff like you have to either pay a lot of money or you have to grind through the game to get to some of these things. And it does make it cool. I mean, because it's not just everyone in the game doesn't have everything.
Right.
But yeah, it's really cool. Wait, go ahead.
No, I just said that's neat.
And then, other than that, I've been playing some PUBG.
Yeah.
So I'll let you talk about that, Chad, because you're going to talk about it also in your part, right? Right?
I mean, maybe a little bit.
I just have to say this. Last night, not a great night for.
You're gonna call? Okay, gonna go there.
I'm just gonna say, not a great night for some fans of football, certain teams.
Yeah, there was the championship games, and NFL was last night and yesterday.
Yeah, one of our friends in the show, Tyler.
Yeah,
he was not happy with how his team played, and it was late in the night. I was watching some Netflix. I got a little text, our classic text from our guys to just go, eh? And so I jumped on. I was like, yeah, I'll play a couple games. So I get in. I could tell he was really like bummed. He was trying to play, but I think he was also like really tired. It was late at night, and he's an hour ahead of where we are.
Right.
And so we got in the first game. We're looting. He's like, yeah, man, I was so bummed about the game, blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. We get in a car. I start driving. I'm driving real fast. I go up a hill. It's blind on the other side. And normally I slow down. Well, I was slowing down a little bit, but right just over the crest was a boulder to where I didn't see it in time to turn. I hit it. Quarter of our life knocked down. I was like, I hate that. Yeah. Well, then I'm driving downhill now, be more careful. Then I came to one of those roads that has like an invisible lip on the side of it. Yeah. I don't know what. It wasn't there. I could not see it. Even when I backed up and looked, could not see it. But when I hit it, it completely stopped the car from going full speed. Completely stopped. Gosh. Now it knocked us down to half life. And we hadn't been shot yet. Hadn't seen a person. Then we're driving, get through the circle, and we come up on one of those big concrete drainage ditch that runs through a certain area of the map. And I looked, and there was a little ramp that I saw on the side, a little wooden ramp. And I was like, oh, I'm not even going to slow down because I'll hit this ramp and just go right over.
It's a hazard. Right.
Yeah. But once I got to the ramp, I realized it was just a pallet that was just laying there. And so instead of jumping over, I drove right into the other side of the concrete thing. Car stopped in midair and then fell into the ditch and exploded, and we died.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And we're like, oh, man, I couldn't believe it. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I've never done this before.
That's
oh,
great.
my gosh, this is awesome. Well, let's do another one. So we back out, go into another game. We start loading the game. The plane starts flying. I'm like, so where you want to go, man? Silence. I was like, hey, Tyler, what about, this is a really weird drop. Like, right about down here, I've never gone to this city before. Like, what about this place? Nothing. I was like, all right, I'm going to jump. Nothing. Oh, no. I watched the plane go to the edge of the map. Tyler's little cursor comes out. It's not moving. It goes down. No sooner does it land, he starts taking damage. He dies completely. I'm like, well, then all of a sudden it goes, bloop. Tyler has left your party.
He did not appreciate your driving at all. Man, that was a rough night.
Yeah. It wasn't the greatest night of PUBG that I've ever had. But I do think we've had another winner chicken dinner since the last time, Chad.
We did. Yeah. After the podcast last week, we won. We won a duo. It was quite exhilarating.
It's a tradition.
It is.
A tradition, indeed.
A tradition. We played some squads with TJ and right? No. Did TJ play?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was just Tyler, you,
Call
and me.
of Duty that night.
Yeah, we played some Call of Duty. And
I forgot to put that in there.
Yeah.
I played Call of Duty. My bad.
Played Call of Duty. But then as soon as Tyler left after not doing great, then Dave and I won like the next match immediately. So anything else, Dave?
That's it for me.
All right. How about you, Josh? What you been up to?
I did some stuff this week.
Yeah.
I played some more volume. I've been like treating it as just sort of like if I have a few minutes here or there type game, I'll jump in, do a couple levels, and jump back out.
It's a good one for that.
Because there's closure after each level, and it's not a continuous thing. So that's been nice. I finished Axiom Verge.
Oh, nice!
Since last week's podcast, it's so good. The frustration of not having like a fast travel system, it's still there, although they sort of alleviate it like once you're like a quarter into the game or so. But there's so if anybody's familiar with like how a Metroidvania game would work, especially like a retro style Metroidvania game like that, right. There's like a map, there's like an overworld map, and it'll show all the places that you've been. So in this game, all of these like sections are connected, and each one is its own separate like section with different kinds of enemies. Well, there is one world that connects to all of the other worlds, and there's this like thing that you can ride on that'll take you. It's like a long corridor, and there's this thing that you can ride on that'll take you from one end to like each stop along the way, so you can get off and like into that world or whatever. But you still have to like travel to that thing, and then you still have to travel to the spot in the world that like you want to travel to. So it's kind of a pain, but they do help with some of that. Really, really good. It's very challenging. I think I'm definitely going to go for the platinum on it.
Cool.
I got like as many of the trophies as I could get like during my playthrough. I got. I still need to finish it in hard, and then you have to finish it in like 4 hours or less or something.
Oh, wow.
Even less than that. I don't know. But there's like a speedrun trophy. And there's a few other like random things, but like I made sure like in my playthrough I got all of the items, all of the power-ups and stuff like that, so I could like just have that toward all the map. But it's really good. It's definitely worth like playing through and finishing.
Cool.
And it's got like it's kind of strange because it sort of like loops the story. I mean, without giving it away, like it sort of loops the story at the end, but then sort of leaves it open for a sequel if they ever want to like revisit the story. So it's kind of cool. So I played that, and then I lost my place. Here we go. I forgot what I played and lost my place in the outline. I finished Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a real good game. I'm excited for them to make another one, or I'm hoping that they'll make another one. And then I played some Neo this week. I finally broke down and bought that game.
Cool.
I needed something to fill the Dark Souls in my life. I'm still working my way through like the Bloodborne DLC, but it's just different enough, but still the same type of game that it's still feels fresh.
Cool.
So it's really good. I finished the first mission, started the second. It's got a lot of interesting, like a lot of systems in it, but they're interesting. And there's a lot of different things at work all at once, and you have to like learn a whole bunch of things. Probably the coolest thing is like during the combat, you expend stamina just like in any of the Souls games or whatever. But there's a thing you can do called a key pulse, which like key is what they call their stamina. So after you finish like a combo or something and you've expended all that stamina, there's these like blue lights that like form and like circle around you. And if you time your key pulse right, it's like another button press, you can replenish all of that stamina like right away.
Kind of like
so you're not left
reload.
Right. So you're not like left open for attacks and stuff like that after you finish with your combo.
That's cool.
So it's kind of like that's a cool system to have in place. And it's not like it doesn't feel like a cheat because you have to master it. Otherwise it doesn't work very well. And there's still some points where it won't do what you're trying to get it to do if somebody like breaks your combo or something. But that's a pretty cool thing. So I'm having some fun with that. And then lastly, I jumped into the World beta.
Monster Hunter. It's a new one.
It's fun. It's definitely Monster Hunter. So like if you've played Monster Hunter before, it's a lot of, at least the beta was. I don't know if the full game will be different, but Monster Hunter traditionally over the years has been it feels like a lot of fetch quests. Like you go out, you hunt a thing, you get a thing, bring it back to the guild, and then you go out and hunt another thing and get a thing and bring it back. Or like you have to like hunt down like 5 of this animal and like collect pelts or whatever. So it's very much that. So I played it on PSP and like a couple other systems, like a few different iterations over the years, and was never really a fan. Because that's one of my least favorite things to do in like open world games too, is like fetch quests. It's just really boring to me, and like to have a whole game built around it doesn't seem fun to me.
Sure.
So this is very much that. However, the interesting thing here is that there's a ton of detail in like the hunts themselves. Like you've got like ghillie suits you can put on to make you like blend in with your environment. You've got like at least in the beta, there was a narrator, and she'd be like, hey, this tall grass would be a perfect place to hide and blend in and like wait for an opportunity to ambush, or like different things you can like different ways you can bait your prey. The environment plays a role. So like one hunt, I was fighting this thing and like I led him past some vines and he got caught in the vines. So it gave me like another 5 seconds to get like some free hits off. That's so cool. there's a lot of detail in it that I think would make it different enough that it might be fun. Still probably not like a day one purchase for me, but I think if anybody's already a fan of Monster Hunter, this is like Monster Hunter on steroids. So
Cool.
I think anybody that's a fan of the franchise will love it.
Yeah.
And the Palicos are freaking adorable. I had like a little gray kitty, and I gave him dinosaur armor.
Yeah.
And it was the cutest thing ever.
Are you gonna have Carlisle cosplay as that for Halloween this year?
Oh man, I should. That would be so fun. I named my Palico Carlisle when I was playing.
Of course.
But, yeah. So it was fun. Like I could see getting it maybe at some point later on, when it's a little less than full price, but yeah, I think if people are fans of the franchise, they'll really like it. Yeah.
It's gonna look good on a big boy console.
Yes, it definitely looks great. Cool. It's very colorful. It looks good.
Yeah, nice.
That's I think that's all for me. Yeah.
Okay. So as Dave mentioned, I did play some PUBG. I played one match today that I'm going to talk about. I did, before I do that though, we'll mention that I used some Christmas money and some money I had saved up. And before I have really a reason to have one, I went and got myself an Xbox One X.
I can't believe it. I'm jealous of you again.
It is nice. It is much, much smaller than my Xbox One Elite that I have. It is really, really heavy. Like, it is a heavy machine. And there's no power brick, which is pretty amazing. Obviously, the PlayStation 4 does not have one either, but it's just nice to not have to worry about that dumb
thing. The Xbox
thing.
One S does not have a power brick either.
Okay, cool. Very nice. It's just the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's got an actual physical button that you push to turn it on and to eject. It's not like a touch pad thing, which is nice. So it's much more difficult to accidentally turn your Xbox off if, say, you have a 2-year-old that just happens to be walking by and likes to touch things, which I happen to have. So it's real nice. I don't have a 4K TV yet. That is on the wish list to get. Hopefully sometime before this year is up. I've squirreled away some money and will continue to do so. Wait for some deals and get one this year. But I can tell you with PUBG specifically, I played last week on that, and then I played some more on that, and then today I played on my other Xbox, and I can tell the difference on PUBG itself. Not necessarily the graphics per se, but the draw distance. Like, I can see much further. Textures look better. It obviously it does the 4K thing, but it also has a bigger processor. It runs better. It's more powerful. All those teraflops and stuff. And I can tell the games run smoother than they do on the other Xbox. So I could tell a difference. And actually, it does make things look really good too. Like, we were watching Empire Strikes Back tonight, actually. And it has a 4K Blu-ray player in it, but it does upgrade even on a 1080p. So it looked, and maybe it's just my mind, as I'm looking at it, trying to be like, oh yeah, that lightsaber does look a little better than I remember it looking before. Ooh, R2-D2 is a little more shiny than I remember. Maybe it's just in my head, but hey, that's all that matters, I guess, is that I like it. So it looks good. I enjoy it. So I played a PUBG. I'm going to tell you about a match I had today. I'll put a video up on the YouTube channel and Facebook here tonight as well, or tomorrow morning. So I'm playing solos by myself, which is what solo means. And I was running through, and I was doing real good. I landed in Georgia Pool. No one else landed there. I looted like 3 apartment buildings. The circle the first time stayed where I was at, so I didn't have to move. Eventually, I had to move south over the bridge, and I run through the area where there's all those containers, like those trucking containers and shipping containers. And I got to the other side of it, and there's this field, and we're down to like 20-some people. And I see a guy standing behind a tree, and I'm coming kind of up from behind him. So I pull my SCAR out, because I have a SCAR with a 4X, and I shoot him a couple times, and I see blood splatter. I'm like, great, I got him. And I shot him again. I'm like, holy cow, why is this guy not dying? And I literally emptied an entire clip shooting this guy. And he went to the kneel position. He turned left. He turned right. Never fired back at me. And I'm like, what is happening? So I reloaded, and then I just fired almost an entire another clip at him, and he still didn't go down. He still didn't die. So I'm like, okay, this is the first time I've seen this. I've seen stuff on PC where there's cheaters and hackers where they'll do things that, you know, they won't die, or they'll shoot you through walls or whatever the case may be. I'm like, I haven't heard anything like this happening on console yet because it's a little more difficult to do. And so after shooting with two full clips, I was like, well, crap, he's not dying, and the circle was coming. So I just ran past him. I'm like, he's just going to turn around. I'm going to get shot in the back. I just know it. I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get shot in the back by this guy that I shot a ton. But it never happened. And it was real strange. I've never seen it before. Like I said, I did capture it to just be like, what's happening? And then I ended up getting second place in that match, which was the best I've done in solo modes.
Chad, I just watched that video. I didn't watch it.
Was that the first time you saw it?
Yes, that is ridiculous. Like, that is 100% definitely not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it seems like he lagged out, which happens to us, and you just stand there. Like, your character stays there, and then you can log back in. But even if you're lagged out or off, getting killed will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, getting shot would kill you, and it didn't kill him. Like, you can see I kind of stopped shooting after the first couple times because, like, oh, he should be dead. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I literally was waiting for him to turn around and somehow shoot me afterwards, but it never happened. And he wasn't the last guy. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm assuming he wasn't the last guy that was left that killed me to be first place. But yeah, I was blown away. I couldn't believe that had happened. So very, very great. Always, every match you play is its own story. Like, Dave has a story about running cars into things. And every time you play, something different happens. There's never do you duplicate a situation. Never do you duplicate. Even if you land in the same place, it never is the same situation. And that's one of the things that makes this game just so addicting. And so even when things go bad, so much fun to go back to and continue to do it again because it's never the same. So if you haven't been playing that and you have the Xbox One, I definitely highly recommend that. One other thing I was playing that I'll mention here real quick because I'm not that far into it is Blossom's Tale for the Switch. Hey, Dave, you remember Link to the Past?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did I not remember that game?
Right.
My favorite game of all time.
This game is just like Link to the Past. Like, it is. Remember how Oceanhorn were like, oh, this game is like a ripoff of Link to the Past, but it was obviously a mobile port first?
Yes.
This is a straight up 16-bit rendered. Like, they aren't even trying not to pretend that they're Link to the Past. You
play
start the Switch. It's on the Switch.
What?
It's on Steam. And it's on the Switch. Dave is getting up to go get a Switch right now. It's been on Steam, and it just came to Switch not that long ago. But you literally start, you're a girl, not a guy. You're Blossom. That's her name. Not Blossom from the TV show. Not what's her name on Big Bang.
I'm not gonna get to play as Mayim Bialik.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's not that Blossom.
Oh man!
But yeah, you basically there's a king, and you get knighted into the Rose. The Rose, Knights of the Rose, or something like that. But you literally wake up in a house, in a bed, with your aunt. I think it's your aunt, sitting in the house with you. And, like, to the right of the bed or left of the bed, there are 3 pots, just like in Link to the Past. There's a treasure chest in there. There's a table. There's a fire. You go out. The overworld map is not – everything is not exactly the same, but it is so similar. It's like I'm playing a Link to the Past, just in a new way. There are pieces of heart. There are swords, there are bombs, there are arrows, everything. It's Linked to the Past in a new way. So like I said, I haven't gotten that far yet. But if you like Link to the Past, and the reason I bought this is Tim Geddes over at Kind of Funny brought it up. And then who was the other person? There's someone else. I can't think of it. Somebody else I listened to on the podcast was just like, oh, it's just like Link to the Past. And I didn't even look it up. I was like, sold. I think it's $15, and I just went and bought it without really looking at anything. Oh, Giant Bomb. I was watching Giant Bomb play it, Dan Reichert. And yeah, it's awesome. It has dungeons. It's got bosses. It's so linked to Link to the Past that it's crazy. So check that out. I will play more of that and talk about it more later. Back to PUBG real quick. They did do an update that I didn't put in the news, but I wanted to mention. They changed some of the blue circle. I don't know, not just the way it works. The blue circle and on PC for sure first, and it'll be coming to console quickly. But the circle closes in slower now. So the amount of time from when it starts moving to the time it gets to where it's going is slower. And the smaller the circle gets, it continues to slow down. But if you do get caught in it, the damage is a lot higher. So it gives people more opportunity to get to the area to get to confrontation and fight each other, where hopefully less people will be killed by the circle. But if you do somehow take too long to get stuck out there, you will die a lot quicker. There won't be the opportunity to just run and barely make it and heal yourself up just inside. That's probably going to be a lot less frequent.
You think this is to battle people that have been like camping outside of the circle, like exploiting it?
Probably that, and then probably just trying to create more player deaths, not play zone deaths. It's more fun for people to fight each other versus getting killed by the environment. So that'll be coming soon. Dave, before we move on to the news you can use, you did not mention the beta you played this week, and I believe you even streamed some of that. So give us some of your quickly, like 2 minutes or so, impressions on what you played here.
Yeah, I totally forgot, and don't let that mean that it wasn't good, because I was out this weekend, and the night before I played this, I was up really late, so I was exhausted, and I'm sitting there, and I don't like to take naps. I mean, I like to sleep, but I just when it's daytime, I have a hard time taking naps, and so I downloaded the demo. I didn't even know it was out. I forgot. I know we talked about it, but I forgot, and saw it there, downloaded it. Metal Gear Survive, ladies and gentlemen. Metal Gear Survive, the game we talked about, that I said I was seriously interested in. Downloaded it, played it for a little bit. Now there's not a whole lot. Like, I will say this. Let me backtrack. There is a whole lot. Like, the game is very, very in depth, surprisingly in depth. Now, the portion that you get to play is not super in depth, but it does show you how deep the skill tree, or not skill tree, but crafting tree, all the different things you can do. You start off in some type of central, at least in this demo, started off in some type of like virtual hub where it was like a white room. It was almost like in the Matrix when Neo and Morpheus are standing there talking, and then they bring up a bunch of rows of guns or different cars. It was kind of like that. So you're sitting there and you see basically your player profile up digitally on the wall, or just hovering there. It shows you your rank, and it shows you a bunch of different stuff. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it because I just wanted to kind of get into the game. Then it has like you can do some training over here, or it'll bring up a bunch of training dummies, or you can do another thing where it brings up a bunch of crafting tables. They have like crafting tables for weapons, crafting tables for medical supplies, crafting tables for defenses, crafting tables for gear, crafting tables for different types of supplements and stuff you can take. Anyways, so then I jumped into the game, and anyone that's watched any of these trailers, it's sort of like a survival. It's in the name, Survive. Got some type of weird zombies that have like crystal things, like for example, those of you that are familiar with The Last of Us, where there was fungus and fungi, these have like crystals or some type of weird crystals that are growing out of them. And they try to get you, and there's different variations of these things. Like again, like The Last of Us had bloaters, or big guys that would explode. These have something called bombers, where they had like a big like growth on their face, and they would come in and run and charge, and then they would eventually explode. And they were all trying to get this central type of thing that Destiny players would know what I'm talking about. Shad, you know what I'm talking about. When in some of the what are the missions called, the online public
the strikes,
the public strikes, they're not just that, the public events, just regular events, okay, like where a drill would come down and you have to protect it.
Public events, right?
That's what was happening here. These things were coming and trying to get it, and you could pick up stuff all over the world, all over the different rooms, all over the place, and use these metals and these rubbers and these pieces of wood and whatever to build fences, wooden fences, metal fences, all kinds of different things. I only played probably 10 minutes of it, maybe not even that. But it was very interesting. I was exhausted, and so after I played through it the first time, I think I jumped and just watched some Netflix, and I might have taken a 30-second nap or something. But I did plan on going back and playing it again. I did stream it, and it went to my Twitch channel. I need to go into my Twitch channel and upload it to our YouTube page, so you'll be able to see it there. But it's interesting. I mean, it's free right now, so if you want to download it
Yeah.
and check it out, I suggest you go over and do it and see if you like it.
The one thing that kind of turned me off is, and you didn't mention it, so maybe it's not till later, is the hunger and thirst meter. Like you constantly, your stamina will decrease, your health will decrease depending on how hungry and how thirsty you are. And you can, I was watching someone else play, you can drink dirty water, and if you don't like purify the water, it'll make you sick. And he ended up having to drink some dirty water, and literally like every 20 seconds his character would throw up, and he would pause, bend over, throw up, and he had to make some antibiotic to cure that, to stop that from happening. And when I saw that there's a constant hunger meter, I'm like, I don't know if I want to deal with that minutia of a detail. Did you play? Was that part of anything you did up to that point?
That wasn't part of my demo.
Okay.
They did not. I didn't have to do any hunting. There might have been more demo if I would have went back. You know what? If I would have went back to the hub, I think maybe I could have picked something different that might have been. I don't know how expansive the demo was. I need to go back into it. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't show you that in some point in a different mission, because you have like missions that I was trying to do.
Sure.
One mission was protecting this thing. So,
all right.
Yeah, but that was
that's
interesting.
just me.
That was interesting to me too, in a little way, because it did seem like watching the giant bombcast or whatever, the video, that it was going down pretty fast. It seemed like, and it would be kind of a pain to have to do that so much.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't get to take a really good close look at it.
Fair enough. All right. Well, stay tuned for
more investigation,
more time. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, those are the games we've been playing lately. Please enjoy those. Next, we're going to move on to the news that you can use,
if you so choose
to do so.
Man, so intense. Brought to us by our good friend, Patreon supporter, Papa Andy. And Papa Andy, guys, has brought to us yet another word of the week to our wonderful wordsmiths that you guys are. So, the word of the week this week that you're going to define for us is pooter. 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 Would you guys inform our listeners what pooter is?
It's what my daughter called a computer when she was 3.
Good one.
No, seriously though, I'm gonna let Josh. I usually kind of, get in the way here and voice my opinions, and I feel like Josh sometimes is a little overshadowed because Josh is a very, very accomplished wordsmith himself.
I'm a lyrical legend. Some have said.
Whoa.
Some have definitely said that.
Yeah. Well, it's just sort of serendipitous that this word would come up this week because I happen to know exactly what this word means.
Serendipity is a great movie, by the way.
That is a great movie.
John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Kate.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
So I'm going to lay it on you guys. Here's what the word pooter means. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you have, y'all know, is the esophagus, right? That's the transporting mechanism from our mouths. Esophagus, squeeze down into the stomach. Things get digested, churned up in there. All right. I'm not going where some people might think I'm going with this, by the way. The pooter, where some people might be crass and think that the pooter is the mechanism by which you expel gases from your body. No. The pooter is a sphincter-like mechanism inside the body between the stomach and the large intestine that sucks the food out of the stomach
like a vacuum
into the large intestine to then transport it on the rest of its journey. So it's sort of like a subway for waste products from your stomach
it's like
to your large
trash
intestine. Right, exactly.
Huh.
Except it's like an active trash chute. It's just like, like pulls it through.
Yeah.
And so the pooter is the layman's term
A
for it.
wormhole of trash chutes.
But it's just it's because it just
just
pulls it through.
Okay.
Just like that.
Huh. All right. Very, very good. I mean, I would believe it if I didn't have the actual definition sitting here in front of me.
Wait, what?
Which is a pooter is a glass jar used for collecting small insects. It has 2 tubes, one protected by gauze, which is sucked. The other is which the insect is drawn into. So you've got a jar, right? Audio listeners, picture this in your mind. You have a jar. You got a lid on the jar. There's 2 holes and there's 2 straws that go into this jar. It's airtight, sealed. One straw is short. On the end of that straw is some gauze where nothing's going to pass through it, right? Taped onto the end of that. The other hole, the other straw is much longer. And what you do is when you're an insect doctor, scientist, you go into the field, you go into the marshes.
For that too.
Yeah, that might be next week's. You go into the wild and you find this insect you want to collect that will fit into this jar. And you take the short straw that's attached to the jar and you put it to your mouth and you suck it up. But you, with the other hose straw, you put it up next to the insect and that sucks that insect into the jar, but not up your straw because you have the gauze there. And now you've got specimen A in your jar, pooter.
Chad, do you know where the idea for that device came from?
Oh, that's
the pooter inside
body.
The human body. That's all I'm saying.
Very good. Very good. Maybe that's the origins. We have to research back a little bit further.
That's a neat little device.
There you
go.
That's a very
specialized device.
I imagine there's some mechanical processes where that works now where you don't actually have to use your mouth. I would assume. But
you would think they might be able to like hook it up to like a little hand pump or something.
So there you go. Thank you, Papa Andy.
Interesting.
For bringing us the word of the week. Always fun.
I wonder how many insects have been pooted.
Thousands, millions. I'll say
probably
millions of pooted insects.
All those insect doctors.
And I'm no insect doctor, so I don't know what to call them. All right, so the news you could use this week brought to us again by Papa Andy. First off, Blizzard, makers of Overwatch. A couple things with Overwatch this week. There's a new map coming to Overwatch tomorrow at the time of this recording. It is called Blizzard World, and it's going to have other, like, it's similar to like a theme park where you'll have attractions from other things that they make. So there's going to be some StarCraft stuff there. I think there's going to be, what else I saw? I forget. I read what it is. But other Blizzard properties are going to have sections of the map that pertain to that property that is not Overwatch, and you're going to be able to play Overwatch there. Pretty cool. Kind of a neat idea that they're going to have. And then also conclude or pertain to Overwatch. Overwatch League began a couple weeks ago, and we did not mention that it has started. But in the first week of the eSports Overwatch League, and this is the one where there are teams that are assigned to cities. And there are like big time sports owners and things like that own part of these teams. Had 10 million viewers in its first week on TV. Beat out some of the Thursday night football NFL games as far as viewers go. So, that esports video game things, no one's going to watch those. They're not popular. 10 million viewers first week. Kind of impressive. So check that out. Find the city nearest you and buy that jersey. And then you can cheer for them since the Vikings lost and there's no reason to watch sports anymore. Next, a big announcement. Big announcements from Nintendo. And I want to know what you guys think of this. I'm gonna read the facts that I'm aware of, and then I want to hear your thoughts on the validity or the longevity, validity, enjoyment. What does this mean to you? So Nintendo Labo was announced, and I believe we put the trailer on our Facebook page with the mere caption, "What is this?" And basically, Nintendo Labo is cardboard cutout sheets that will interact with specific games on the Switch. That's right. Cut out cardboard. You literally get cardboard sheets with perforated lines that you'll punch out and then fold, and they'll make specific things like a fishing rod, or robots.
Like you get with kids' meals at Steak and Shake.
Yeah, I can already tell where we're going here. Our feelings on this. So a couple of things. There's a variety kit that has, like I said, it has a house. It has a piano, a 13-key piano. It has a couple other things like RC. Like you get those little bugs that you vibrate real fast and makes them look like they're alive. You get one of those that you can put in there, and that's $69.99. For the variety kit. It'll have 5 different games in it, I believe. And then there's the robot kit that I talked about, which actually has a series of pulleys with rope and everything built into it, for $79.99. And then there are additional customization kits with 2 stencil sheets, 2 sticker sheets, and 2 decorative tape rolls for $9.99. I don't believe we got a date on when this is coming. Yeah, so what do you guys think of this? They're calling these it's Nintendo Labo, they're calling them toy cons. And basically you put your Joy-Cons into things and the infrared sensor will see them and react. You'll put the Switch into things and you'll play little mini games in these cardboard cutouts. What are your thoughts?
This is like if IKEA made video games.
Okay, yeah, good one. I like it.
Like, I don't know, man. I just from what I've seen, this is a great idea.
Yeah,
like super cool. This is like Nintendo does weird stuff like this, and this seems like maybe not as big of a jump, but this seems like maybe the Wii all over again. Not that big of a deal, but like. No, I'm not even saying like I think it's a really great idea. Saying like as far as like the progression of like, oh my gosh, this is a weird thing, but like sort of like the Wii. So I think it's a great idea. I think charging $69.99 for the lowest priced kit, like it's freaking cardboard. I mean, come on. Like what's going to happen is kids are going to see this. They're going to bug their parents to no end. The parents going to buy it for them. It's freaking cardboard. So the age group that this is targeted at is going to destroy it in days. And that's like whatever portion of that is the cardboard cost, not the software cost, is like that's gone. And then like the customization kits are $10 a piece for freaking cardboard. Come on.
Yeah, and they did specify that this is for kids. It's specifically made for kids. And I showed my 11-year-old, and he's like, "That's cool. I want the robot," because it's like a backpack that goes on, and then there's ropes that go to your hands where you hold the Joy-Cons, and one to your foot with ropes, and it looks very intricate. And for a kid that likes Legos as much as he does, I'm not surprised that he wants it. But how well will be, even if he tries to take care of it. Even as an 11-year-old trying, it's not, how long until a rope breaks? How long until the cardboard gets smashed?
Yeah. Like I'm an adult 31-year-old man, and I know how to take care of things. And I have comic books that have creases in them, like just on accident.
Right.
And like, that's just me, like having put it in a box and like stuck it in my closet or something, because I'm like trying to preserve it. And I'll take it out and be like, oh man, like, this got bent or creased or whatever, or torn or whatever. And that's like in a bag and board and like in a box.
Purpose, trying to take care of it.
Yeah. That's not like something that I interact with like on a daily basis for 20, 30 minutes at a time. Like, so do you, again, I think this is a really awesome idea, and Nintendo does stuff like this.
Yeah.
But this price point is ridiculous. And like, why cardboard? Why? Like you could just as easily do like a very like a thin PVC, or like there are way better solutions to this than cardboard. Like this seems purposely like
cheap,
very money hungry. Yeah.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, that's definitely interesting. When I saw it, I was the one that made the post. What is this? I don't even think I watched the whole entire thing. I mean, it's something that I'm definitely not, I'm not interested in buying anything of that for me. Now, that's not to say that my kids might not be interested in it. Now, they don't have a Switch, so it's interesting. I don't think the only way this will sell more Switches or have the potential of selling more Switches is if a little kid that doesn't have a Switch has a friend that does, and they go, "Oh, I know, I want, blah 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 blah." So the idea of the $79.99, $69.99, whatever, it does seem. I mean, I don't know what's going into it. I know there's some games, there's some software side to it,
right?
But I mean, they already paid the $400 or whatever, $300 for the Switch, plus whatever their accessories were to get it. And then obviously the only real difference in what this is versus all the other games is it's got these cardboard cutouts that, like Josh said, I mean, they could, you step on them and it breaks. You accidentally dump a drink on it. It's messed up. Can't take them outside really if it's going to get wet or whatever, or even soil could dampen it and mess it up. They get it's now. I will say because there will be a craze for this with kids, but I did see some Twitter comments, some Twitter statements that made sense to me. I'm not going to remember word for word what this guy said, but I do remember him saying, there are some kids that are really smart. Prodigies might not be the word for it, but they just have those minds that like engineer type minds that don't get those kind of kits as a kid growing up, but this might resonate with them and it might spark something in their mind. Some of those, particularly the ones that with the pulleys and the way that things work, they used to have those things when we were kids that were like, I don't know if they were made with like Connect toys, like those little things
or whatever.
You could actually make different types of. It was an engineer type thing. You could build, contraptions where you would roll stuff down. I think they used it in the Sandlot. They used stuff like that in the Sandlot when they retrieved the ball over the fence. One of the kid had a bunch of those toys that he put together and made a car
erector sets.
Erector sets, yes.
Yeah,
those were toys. But they were also aimed at the type of kids that had those kind of minds that liked to build and that liked to things that worked. People that you would think it would make sense if you became an engineer or even a mechanic or an architect or something like that. There's some kids that are going to want this just because it has to do with the Switch video games. Yeah. Oh, I don't think it's really. I think it might be like a Wii thing for them, like Josh said, where the Wii exploded and then tapered out after a while. The gimmick side of it was really cool and it did work, but it didn't last super long. I think this will fade out with kids like that, but I do think it does have a lot of potential for those type of kids that have that type of mind in a 2018 digital world where everything is now digital. And all the architects that are all the entrepreneurs or kids that are 15, 20 years younger than us that are coming into the world and doing that type of stuff, they're using computers. They're not pulling out the big hand-drawn blueprints anymore. I mean, there's some people that might like doing it old school or whatever, but a lot of it and most of it, I would say, is done digitally. And so I think that this does have a niche in that aspect to where it can catch on with people. Again, you're only targeting people that have Switches.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's interesting, but, I don't know. I mean, I really, I don't know enough to know how it's going to catch on or whatever, but I do see a cool side to it for that type of
I think you're both right in that it has some of that Wii potential to just really do well. And guys like us will be like, what, how quickly will it get broke? How quickly, and see all the negative sides, but it'll be cool enough and unique enough and no one else is doing anything like this enough that it'll do well. And Nintendo's been knocking it out of the park lately. They have. Everything they've done has just been since the Switch has come out, proven to be successful and been mostly the right choice. Now, there's still some things that they need to do better at, and things that we're still looking to, online service, virtual console, things like that. But it's unique enough that, again, they're a toy company, right? That's what they started as, and I think there's still enough people there that want to make that toy aspect of it that it could resonate with some people.
So to that point, Chad, like that was the other thought I had on this, that I was thinking about this whole time. So like, isn't it kind of a bad look though, to like, there are still things about the Switch that are like very conspicuously missing. Like you said, like online, like a lot of online features, and like the retro console stuff, and like all that, like stuff that people have been waiting for, that like a modern console or even handheld, like you would expect that to have it from the get-go, let alone like almost a year after release, still nothing. And I understand it's not the same software developers and the same like engineering team probably that's like working on things like Nintendo Labo. That would, like, it's not the same team that's doing that as would be doing like online features and like that end of it. But it like at some point there is like a creative team that's like coming up with the ideas and prioritizing things and saying like, okay, like we know we've got all this other stuff going on that we haven't fixed yet, and we really haven't updated anybody on or like told anybody what's going on. And instead of like making that the focus or priority, we're going to put out weird stuff like this that nobody's asking for, that they easily could have like fixed the other stuff first and then put this out later. Like there's no
it's just
rush on anything like this.
Yeah, I think it's just Nintendo marching to the beat of a different drummer. They are not trying to compete with what PlayStation, Xbox does when it comes to online functionality. Most of their games
at this point, it's not even competing. It's like it's giving your base what they've been asking for.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's not a whole lot of software that would require that. Not that that's an excuse, but even like the friend code stuff, like it's archaic
stuff that they've seemed to like take a step backward from.
Yeah,
I
don't know. I don't know. You're not wrong, but I just think Nintendo's priorities are way different than any other video game company, and even their consumers think that their priority should be. And so far, I mean, it's worked out okay for them. Will that eventually catch up and not? Maybe. And we'll see. There's still the promise of all the online stuff coming, and it hasn't. But, for me, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think you're exactly right, though. Like, with them considering themselves a toy company, I guess this kind of a move is like in keeping with that. But
yeah, they just do things differently. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We will see with this one.
Bold move, Cotton.
Bold move for sure. All right, well, continuing on with the toy theme, you remember that back in it would have been the 80s or 90s, the Sega does what Nintendo don't. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Now we've got Sony. Sony does what Nintendo did, and they've got their own version of Amiibos, kind of, called Totaku toys. So PlayStation is introducing these Totakus, and they look like Amiibos. They are plastic figures on a base. However, as far as we're aware, there is no NFC communicator. There's nothing that's you're going to put on your PS4 controller and get some cool things in your game. They're just toys. They're going to be $10 each. They're being sold via ThinkGeek, which is the same company as GameStop. They've announced 7 out of the 10 characters that they're doing in their first wave. They are Kratos, Crash Bandicoot, Sackboy, Heihachi from Tekken, Parappa the Rapper, the Hunter from Bloodborne, so Josh is going to want this to put on his desk at work, and the Phasar FX 350 ship from Wipeout. So they literally are like Amiibos. They're little toys. They're very cool looking. If you like Crash Bandicoot, you're going to want this. It's a cool little toy. And I don't know why they're doing it. They're $10, like I said, so they're a little bit cheaper than the Amiibos are. Amiibos are a big thing. They're real cool. I have some. But this kind of goes back to Andy's question last week, if you recall, asking about the mascots for PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
And they really don't have a specific one, but all the characters that they've done here, that these 7 are, I mean, I would say that they're definitely Sony. They belong to Sony. And so maybe they're trying to get in. Are they trying to get into the mascot thing? Are they just trying to get, I mean, why are they doing this?
I feel like this is a step towards that. I mean, honestly, like at $10, look, this is something. Before I knew that this existed, this is something I didn't know I wanted. Now that I know this exists, you're right, Chad. Immediately, I was like, "Oh, the Hunter from Bloodborne, that'd be cool."
And it's a pretty cool stance.
$10, why not? So there's that aspect of it. But like, I feel like with that, like anytime you merchandise stuff like this, you have to push like the brand identity with it. So like you have to push the fact that these are very connected with the PlayStation and Sony. So I feel like this is at least a step toward.
It's interesting.
Like PlayStation mascots, if not one,
but a bunch. Yeah. And I think the stand they're on is actually the PlayStation symbol, like the triangle, circle, cross, square is the stand they're on. So yeah, I mean, as you can tell, if you're on YouTube from behind me, I kind of like video game toys and things of that nature. I will probably get every one that I can get my hand on, even though I'm not a big Wipeout fan or a Tekken fan. But I will probably, if I see them, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I need this. It'll look cool on my shelf. So,
we should,
job, Sony.
On some episode coming up, maybe not this one, but on some episode coming up, we should talk about like collectibles in general and just like the mentality behind that and why it's so fun to collect things. Cause like I know we all do it. And like I do it with comic books and like I have like some like figurines and stuff like that, but like just the mentality behind why it's so fun to collect that stuff anyway.
That's a good topic for sure. All right, just a few more items here on the list, Josh. You have shared an article this week in Slack on the new No Man's Sky ARG that seems to be making a resurgence. You got a couple of minutes to explain what's going on here?
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit. Augmented reality game, I think is what it stands for. But like we talked about it a little while back before the release of the 1.3 update, which is the Atlas Rises update, I think they called it.
Right.
And that's the one, like I talked about a few weeks ago when I jumped back into No Man's Sky. That's the one that added another alien race, a ton more like quests. Like I think they said like 30 more hours of story to the game. Like
wow.
Like very linear, like exactly everything that was missing from the game before.
Right.
It even like updated the textures and like the graphics are so much better, and like the ship like combat and flying and navigation and everything's just so much better. They layered in so many new systems. So before that happened, they had this ARG going, and there was like a website at one point. There was a Twitch stream with like 6 different monitors showing weird things, and there was like a hamster in a cage,
right?
And like with post-it notes, and then there was like a thing on the screen where like Twitch, they were allowing Twitch to like navigate something through a maze, like group play, and then like there's just weird stuff on the screens, and all that like culminated in the 1.3 update. So the next update that is due, that's the last one that was released. So the next update that's due is 1.4.
Okay.
So this ARG started back up again, and most of it this time centers around their website. There's been like if you play the game, there's like these obelisks or pavilions or whatever you want to call them, like scattered throughout like different planets, and like usually you'll interact with them to like learn a little bit of story, or it'll give you like you'll understand some words in an alien language or something like that. But some of those on the website, and I think there's 15 total, and 10 now have been revealed. But like everything seems to center around, and then there's like people who are way smarter than I am have like dug into like there's like a bunch of numbers like hexadecimals, and like people have like dug into like what those spell out. And it's
Wow.
it's like everything points to like the number 1.5. But the next update that we're due is 1.4. So some people are guessing that they might like stealth release a 1.4 update. That's like sort of a stepping stone to the bigger update, which would be 1.5. So 1.3, like it laid in some groundwork to finally get like true multiplayer going, like in this game. So right now, I haven't experienced this yet, but right now, apparently the way it works is if you're on the same planet as another player, you'll see like an orb that represents that other player.
Okay.
And so amidst all this, like there's stuff about mirrors, and different things. Like they said, like if, and then there was like an email address that you could email at one point, and like so some people have emailed it different things, and like they've gotten a response back saying what is 1.5, and then like the pictures of mirrors and like the hexadecimals, like some of them have spelled out the word mirror. And then Sean Murray tweeted he like a screenshot of watching the first episode of season 4 of Black Mirror, which is called USS Callister. It's really, really good if you haven't seen it. And then something else. And so he said, if you fall asleep with a mirror on your face, you wake up in your dreams. I have more ideas. So like Sean Murray is even like hinting things. So as far as I can tell, like I'm not like on these websites like trying to figure this stuff out. I'm just reading what other people have like figured out and conjectured. But what people are guessing is that they may be going to stealth release the 1.4 update, which is like in preparation basically for the 1.5 update, which is the big one. And they're guessing that like all the mirror stuff and everything else surrounding it is pointing toward you being able to like actually customize an avatar in the game. And then like once they release this 1.5 update, there will be like true like synchronous multiplayer in the game. You'll be able to see like other players' avatars and things like that.
Interesting.
So like it's still ongoing. They haven't released 1.4 yet. Like none of it has been like completely figured out. There's also like actual physical Atlas passes that have been sent out to like some people have figured out certain parts of the ARG at different points, and the hexadecimal on there spells Phoenix, I think, or something like that. So there's a bunch to this, but it all seems to be pointing towards like actual real life synchronous multiplayer in this game.
Interesting.
That they've been like sort of like, you know, dancing around ever since they released it. So
wow, crazy.
But that's all. I think that's all we know so far.
All right, the No Man's Sky drama continues on years after release. So that's.
I mean, it's such a good game. If you liked it at least a little bit before, if you went back to it now, you would, I think, love it. If you weren't crazy about it before, I think it would at least be intriguing to you at this point. It's just, we all, I think, already loved it, but it's such a better game now.
Worth checking out again for sure. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for that. Just a couple more things. I think will be a little quicker. OG Xbox controller, the Duke. If you guys remember, that is coming back. They're remaking it. It's going to be playable on your Xbox One.
Yeah, now we heard about this, right? Didn't we talk about this before?
There were some rumors that it was possibly coming back. Yep. And it is official.
Big old huge fat controller that I never ever wanted to play.
I think
with.
it's such a cool looking thing.
It is.
It's like, have you ever played with
a
it?
Spaceship.
It's a pain.
Have you ever played with it, Josh?
Yeah, I played a little bit on the original Xbox. Every time me and my buddies
wanted Halo,
it wasn't an easy controller to use.
No.
Well, it was so popular. It's coming back in March of this year for $70. You can buy a brand new OG Xbox controller. The little jewel the little jewel, nothing's like freaking size of, I don't know, a silver dollar. It's no longer just the X for the Xbox. It has a LED light screen that'll light up and do the boot up animation for when you booted up the original Xbox. When you turn it on, you'll get that boot up in that LED screen, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. So for $70, it's coming out in March, and it'll work. It'll work with the Xbox One. So
at the very least, that's a cool collector's item.
It is a cool collector's item for sure. So that's a thing. Another beta that is coming out here real soon for a game that's coming out not long after. Sea of Thieves is getting one of its final betas January 24th, which is this week, through the 29th. To be part of this, you either have to be part of the Insider Club, which you could do prior to December 1st, or pre-order the game. If you do either one of those things, you can be part of this beta. This will have more of the multiplayer stuff, looking for treasures and things like that in this part of the beta. So starting the 24th of January through the 29th, I need to make time to get on it. I'm in the Insider and I have yet to play it.
I'm thinking of just pre-ordering it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, I really don't see me not getting the game.
Right.
And plus, my son Jack will get it, and I know that would be a fun game to play. Like, can you imagine me, you've got 2 Xboxes now, you, Carter, and Jack playing that? That would be really
That would be fun. That would be real cool. So check that out, 24th through the 29th. And then finally, there's a new Alien game coming. Like proper Alien from the Alien series.
Really?
In the cinematic universe. It's being made by a new company that has not made a game yet, but it is part of Fox, which now technically is part of Disney, because Disney purchased Fox, at least this part of Fox. And it's got some big names from other developing that made other good games, making a new studio making this game. So it's going to be a shooter. Obviously, Alien Isolation was the most recent one that's come out. A lot of mixed reviews. I know, Dave, you played a lot of it. You liked it. Josh, did you play it too? Alien Isolation. So different kind of game. That was obviously a survival horror game. Prior to that, we had Alien Colonial Marines, made by Gearbox, which I think there's still litigation out for them in the game. The way it was presented and what we ended up getting, it looked fantastic, and when it came out, it was a hot pile of trash. And then you have the AVP games, which there's a lot of popular ones there. So this is supposed to be a shooter set in that world. So 100 aliens drop out of a plane, fall to an island, and the last alien to not.
Okay, look, you're joking, but I would play an Alien Battle Royale game.
But what if you did what if you did 100 people falling out of the sky and you got an alien you have to survive from? Like the alien is the one that is hunting you down or something like that.
That's kind of like an Evolve type. Situation. I mean, I'd play that too. Shoot. Why not?
Yeah. So there's no timetable. It's been announced. And Alien. I mean, for a guy that doesn't like horror, I like the Alien movies. I really do. I enjoy them. I even like Prometheus and Covenant. I like those. So yeah, a shooter in the Alien genre could be good. Hopefully it is. I hope it is.
I would love like a proper Alien. I mean, this sounds great. A proper Alien like franchise, like actual shooter, like. What I'm picturing, like Doom style, but it may not be like that. But
that would be cool.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. So hopefully they can make it work. I look forward to it. All right, well, that's all the news that we have for you this week. We are going to finish up this week's podcast with our final segment. Before we do, I'm going to say we are part of the SouthEmpire.com podcast family. You can head over there, SouthEmpire.com, to check out other podcasts in this podcast family in South Dakota. I will say there's one out there where apparently one of the guys made a fake seal for the South Dakota state seal, has Pikachu on it, and the legislators in the state are real unhappy with him, like for real. So you want to see some drama when it comes to state seals and Pikachu, South Dakota, SouthEmpire.com. Check it out.
All right.
All right, so we are going to finish up this week's podcast with our fun segment, Game Scoops, 20 questions.
Scoop to the doop.
So he does it to me all the time. I think he's done, but he's not. So we're 0-2 for the year. 0-2. We have not got one correct. Josh and I are going to fix that this week because Dave has chosen the game, and Josh is real smart. So.
Oh,
Josh, why don't you start?
All right.
So you think you're gonna win because I chose the game?
No, I'm thinking we're gonna win because Josh is real smart.
Oh, okay.
That's
all
what I
right.
said.
Okay, let's see. Dave, in this
Yeah.
game that you have chosen for us to guess this week, let's see.
Oh boy,
What's like a weird specific thing that I can
that seems like a
guess
solid
here.
approach. I want to be as weird as possible.
Let's see. Do you ever? Okay, so I was gonna guess something. This would be a terrible guess, but something I've noticed in games, whenever there's mirrors in games, you never see your character in the mirror, except for a couple games that I've played recently in which you do see yourself in the mirror, and I think that's interesting. Total side. I was gonna guess, or I was gonna ask if you see yourself in a mirror ever in this game. That's a terrible guess. So I'm not gonna guess that. Instead, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna ask, are there jump scares in this game, Dave?
No.
Okay.
Good to know. Good to know.
Not a horror game.
Yeah. Dave, did this game come out before January 1st, 2000?
No.
Okay.
All right. So after 2000.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Dave, did this come out on the PS3, Xbox 360 generation?
No.
All right.
Okay.
Dave, is this a current gen game?
Yes.
Oh. All right. Is this a PlayStation exclusive?
No.
It's like I swung for the fences there.
Yeah. No, if it would have been yes, that would have been great. Do you play as a human in this game?
No.
Ooh. So not PlayStation exclusive, and you don't play as a human, with no equivocation, meaning you can't play as a human. So cross-platform games where you don't play as a human. Is this a first-person game?
No.
Okay. Do you play as an animal?
No.
Not a human, not an animal. I wonder if you play as like an alien or a robot.
Mm-hmm.
What is Mega Man?
He isn't he kind of like RoboCop? He's half human, half he's a robot. He's a straight up robot.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Dr. Wiley created him, right? Or not Dr. Wiley.
Yeah. Dr. Light.
White. Yeah, Light, yeah. So it could be Mega Man, but I don't know of any current gen.
I mean the legacy collections or whatever, but
is that on both?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that would be it. Let's see. It's not first person. You don't play as a human. Not exclusive. Is this game part of a franchise?
Yes.
Okay. Current gen franchise game. Do you shoot guns in this game?
No. That's 10.
Don't shoot a gun. Don't play as a human or an animal. What games would you play as an alien?
Well, and that. So I think like Zelda is not like Link's not a human.
That's true. He's a
Hyrulean or elf person,
elf type person.
which we talked about. I get things confused. I think I heard about this recently.
There's debate as to whether Mario is human or not.
Right. He was pretty emphatic, though. There was no like, I think he would be well. He did do kind of like a weird thing when we asked Animal, like not technically no.
Yeah, that's true.
He didn't say that, but that's the impression I got.
I'm trying like playing as an animal. I don't.
Well, it could.
There's like
it could. It's
not an animal.
He's not an animal. It could, and it's a he now. Apparently, he is not an animal. Write that down real quick. It's a he.
It's not an animal.
Too late. Just gender assumed. It could be a robot. It could be a vehicle. Like you could be playing as a car.
We would say that. Crap! Now I'm forgetting. And that's a Sony exclusive anyway. The Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
Ratchet is
definitely an animal
box or something. Yeah. Okay. Man, I don't even know where to take this at this point. Not an exclusive.
Are we still asking 11?
Yeah. We're still asking 11.
Jeez, sorry.
Is this an open world game, Dave?
No,
not open world. Okay,
not Zelda. So
it's a linear.
That would make it like a linear game, not a human or animal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay. Let me say this without giving a hint. I guess this is exactly what I'm doing. Is giving a hint, but it's not open world in. Like it's obviously not Breath of the Wild, or I would have said yes.
Right.
To open world. GTA, open world. There could be an argument made that this is open world, but it's not open world in the way that you're asking. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Man. Do you play as an alien, Dave?
No.
That just leaves a machine, right?
I don't know.
Or I guess a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's a type of machine, but like.
All right. Does your character have a specified name?
Yes.
Because it could be humanoid, like anything, like it's not an animal, but it's made up creature of some kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man. I'm trying to think of like games that I feel like we've all played on current gen.
Yeah. Dave, are the enemies that you let me back up. Because we don't know that there's enemies per se.
I don't even know that there's enemies.
Let's see here. So not necessarily open world. Is this do you have a method of attack?
Yes.
Does your character have a method of attack? Yes.
Was that 14?
Yeah.
Okay, so Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance was on PC, okay. I know for sure.
I don't think it's on an Xbox One or PS4.
Okay, that's
because that was one with Raiden.
That's where I was going. Yeah.
Yeah.
With what? Raiden?
He's like, yeah.
Well, you got to. I mean, in my mind, Raiden was human,
right?
Just because he became a cyborg.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
I mean, that also would be hard if you said is he a robot. It would be hard if it was a cyborg.
Yeah,
It's not a robot technically, and it's not a human, I guess technically, right?
you do have a method of attack. What if this is like a Transformers game, Chad?
Sure. Yeah. But you do shoot guns in the Transformer games.
Or like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game? Would you call them? They're not really an animal.
They're turtles. It's in the title.
But they're mutant
turtles. They're turtles.
But they're mutant turtles.
Definitely an animal. And I think Transformers would be aliens as well. I mean, technically.
Oh, that's true. Technically, they would be aliens. Hard time with this one.
I mean, there's a franchise, so there's more than one. You know, I mean, these games have been around for
Loco
a bit.
Roco is, I think, a Sony exclusive.
Yeah, definitely is.
You don't know
is a Sony exclusive.
You don't, but you don't know what game in the franchise this is. So you guys don't know the life of the franchise.
No.
Which could be a big help
also
too.
True. Do you?
I want you to win. I don't want to give it to you, but I do want you guys to win. Because it's us.
Okay, so if you have a method of attack, you have to use weapons.
Yeah, I would assume melee, probably, right, of some kind, either a weapon or you're punching or something. Or you're using spells. You just know you're not shooting guns.
Are we just assuming that this is a game in which you kill things or people? If you have a method of attack, you probably kill things.
Asking 16?
Asking 15.
Oh, okay. Not that that's way better.
All right.
So different.
Is your character, Dave, a machine?
No.
All right. Is this the first game in the franchise?
Yes.
So what are some games that have current gen, are in a franchise, but have had multiple games in current gen? Because if it's first game in the series and it's on current gen consoles, but there are sequels to it because it's in a franchise. Jeez. We're going to kick ourselves if we don't get it. I know we are.
Well, I was about to guess Borderlands, but that's definitely not the first game in the franchise. I hadn't asked my crazy question to start off because that would give us. Sure. Maybe I should stop doing that. Man, not animal, not alien,
not machine,
not human, and not machine. Yeah. I don't know what the heck is left.
It could be a vehicle,
but your character has a set. I mean, I would say a vehicle is a machine.
Yeah, that's true.
But your character has a set name. Like you have a name.
Maybe you're a mutant. Mutants aren't humans.
It's true.
You're mutated something. I think we're stretching.
Already went over the turtle thing about this, Chad.
Those are still turtles.
Turtles. But
okay.
X-Men. Men is in the name, Chad.
Very good. Very good. Well done. Let's see. Is this would this be considered an action adventure game?
No.
For genre? No.
Chad, do you attack things in Unraveled? Or Ori?
Ori you do. You attack things in Ori. Ooh, that's a good one, Dave. Oh, that's a good one, Josh. He loves Ori. Ori has a sequel announced, but it's not out yet. You may have done it. You may have just done it. You may have just done it. So
Dave,
yeah, go ahead. We're at question 18.
Does this game have anything to do with the blind forest?
Yes, it does.
Dude, I told you, Josh. I told you were going to do it. Dave, is this Ori and the Blind Forest?
Yes. Ori and the Blind
job,
Forest.
Josh.
One question
Released
to spare.
March 11th, 2015. It was published by Microsoft but developed by Moon Studios. You play as Ori, who is a white guardian spirit.
Wow, yeah, spirits.
Not an animal.
About spirits.
I honest to God
like
almost guessed ghost.
He looks like a little animal, but he's not. That's why I answered the way I did, because it could be you could think he's an animal, but he's not.
Dude, how did that come to your brain, Josh?
Well, because I was thinking, because earlier like Sackboy came to mind, but that's a console exclusive, and then I was like, is there anything else like Sackboy? And then Unraveled came to mind.
Yeah,
and then because Unraveled
down that, that was good. That was good. Clutch right there. Nice job.
It's our first one of the year.
Yep.
Metroid.
I still need to play that game.
Metroidvania.
So
yeah, and you can play it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Microsoft Windows.
Excellent game. Excellent.
Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, it's so good, and it's one of those games that the replay value is very high. Like it makes you want to find everything.
Yeah,
I like
the music is incredible. The artwork is incredible. The gameplay is perfect. It really is. It's and the way you attack is you have a little character named, I think it's Sein, Sein, and he is the light and eyes of the spirit tree. So he's like, they're like little wisps that come out of the spirit tree, and he comes and he finds Ori, and he like you can upgrade him to attack, and he attacks. At some point, Ori does get some skills where he can like ground stomp, like Mario's version of ground stomp, on things. But most of the time, if Ori touches anything that's bad, he
hurts him. Yeah.
Takes away a life orb.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I love
good game.
I can't wait to play this one.
Yeah, good job, Josh. Man.
Good job, guys. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. First win of the year. Way to go. All right, YouTube, thanks for watching. Audio listeners, thanks for listening. As always, head over to Facebook and like our posts. Head over to YouTube, subscribe, watch our videos. Make sure you tell a friend. Rate us on iTunes if you want. That'd be cool, too. We appreciate everything you do. Head over to Patreon. Give us $1 if you have one to spare. We appreciate everything. We appreciate listening. We look forward to playing some games with some Patreon supporters next month. We're going to have some guest hosts coming on here next month as well.
Exciting.
So there's a lot of cool things happening here at South Dakota Gamer. We are happy to do it and happy that you are a part of it. Until next time, have a good week.
Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Shoot. Still workshopping that.
I knew sign off was going to be like nothing, like silence.
Yeah, just dead. He doesn't say a word. All right, cool.
Crap, I forgot which one this is. 153?
Yes.
Correct.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. I am exporting and I will upload at some point.
Bye, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you watch it. Just hit that thumbs up.